Imagine being forced to betray your own country, not for money, not for power, but for love. Now imagine that every lie you tell to save the woman you love pushes you closer to becoming the very enemy you've spent your entire life hunting. That's exactly where Season 2 of The Agency begins. And trust me, what starts as a rescue mission soon turns into a deadly game of spies, betrayal, secret wars, political conspiracies, and impossible choices. By the end of this story, lives will be destroyed, loyalties will be shattered, and one man will be forced to choose between the CIA and the woman he can't let go. This is the complete story of The Agency Season 2. But before we begin, be careful, because from this point forward, there are major spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. The season opens in Sudan. A convoy of heavily armed Rapid Support Forces soldiers is moving through the darkness. Inside one of the vehicles is Samia Zahir, the woman who changed everything. The woman CIA operative Brandon Colby, better known by his codename Martian, is desperately trying to save. Samia isn't just any prisoner. She's become incredibly valuable. Too valuable. Everyone wants her. Governments want her, intelligence agencies want her, and some people want her dead. Suddenly, gunfire erupts. British Special Forces launch a surprise attack. Their mission is simple: rescue Samia, get her out, and disappear. For a moment, it looks like the operation might actually succeed, but then everything goes wrong. The rescue fails. Samia remains in enemy hands, and her situation becomes even worse than before, because now her captors know exactly how valuable she really is. Thousands of miles away in London, Martian receives the devastating news. The rescue attempt failed. Samia is still trapped, and every second she remains captive puts her life at greater risk. For most people, this would be heartbreaking. For Martian, it's something even worse, because he's responsible. At the end of Season 1, Martian made a decision that changed everything. To save Samia, he secretly agreed to become a double agent. He's still working for the CIA, but now he's also secretly feeding information to British intelligence. It's the kind of betrayal that could end careers, or lives, and now he's trapped. If he stops cooperating, Samia dies. If he continues, he risks becoming a traitor. Every direction leads to disaster. Back at CIA London Station, however, Martian isn't the only one facing problems. Another crisis is already unfolding, and this one threatens the entire intelligence community. A Russian deep cover asset named Leo Kravitsky has successfully risen through the ranks of Valhalla. Valhalla is no ordinary organization. It's a powerful mercenary network operating across multiple countries. Think of it as a private army with global reach. The CIA believed they had successfully infiltrated it. They thought Leo would become their eyes and ears inside the organization. Instead, they receive a video, and what they see sends shockwaves through the agency. Leo has been executed, brutally, publicly. Someone exposed him, someone leaked information, and now one terrifying question hangs over London Station. Is there a mole inside the intelligence community? The possibility creates immediate panic. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. Every conversation becomes suspicious. Every friendship becomes questionable. Every secret suddenly feels dangerous. Bosco, one of the CIA's senior leaders, immediately orders an internal investigation. His message is simple: trust no one, find the leak. Meanwhile, another story is unfolding far from London. In Iran, a young CIA operative named Dani Maratha is beginning one of the most dangerous missions of her career. Unlike Martian, Dani is still relatively new to deep cover operations. She's intelligent, capable, and ambitious, but she's about to discover how lonely the spy life can be. Dani has embedded herself inside an Iranian university under the cover of being a geophysics student. Her mission is connected to Iran's nuclear activities, and her target is a young man named Hassan Zamani. At first glance, Hassan seems like an ordinary rich student, but appearances can be deceiving. His father is one of the most influential political figures in Iran, the kind of man who can shape national policy with a single phone call. Getting close to Hassan could open doors that the CIA has spent years trying to unlock. So Dani starts carefully building a relationship, making friends, attending gatherings, blending in, pretending to belong. But every undercover operation comes with danger, and Dani doesn't yet realize she's already being watched. Back in London, the pressure on Martian keeps growing. The failed rescue mission haunts him. Every thought leads back to Samia. Every conversation reminds him that she's suffering while he remains powerless to help. The emotional burden becomes almost unbearable, and that's exactly what makes him dangerous. Because spies are trained to think logically. They are trained to prioritize missions over emotions. But Martian isn't thinking like a CIA officer anymore. He's thinking like a man in love, and love is making him reckless. Soon he secretly meets his MI6 handler, Robin Shaw. The British have a proposition. If Martian helps them secure an important Iranian asset, they'll continue working towards Samia's freedom. For Martian, the choice isn't really a choice at all. He agrees. But what he doesn't realize is that every deal he makes pushes him deeper into a web of manipulation, and the people around him are beginning to notice. Henry Ogletree, one of the CIA's most respected leaders, starts paying closer attention. Something feels off. Martian isn't acting like himself. His decisions are becoming emotional. His behavior is becoming unpredictable. And Henry's instincts tell him something is wrong. The problem, he doesn't yet know just how wrong. Meanwhile, across Sudan, Samia's nightmare continues. She's transferred between locations, interrogated, isolated, and psychologically tortured. Their captors want information. They want leverage. They want control. But despite everything she's enduring, Samia refuses to break. What she doesn't know is that the man trying to save her is slowly destroying himself in the process. And this is only the beginning. Because while Martian is risking everything for love, a mysterious killer known only as Viking is about to emerge from the shadows. The mole hunt is about to intensify. Danny's operation in Iran is about to become deadly. And the fragile balance holding Martian's double life together is about to collapse. But what happens next changes everything.
While Martian continues secretly working as a double agent to save Samia, the CIA launches a major investigation into the leak that led to Leo Kravitsky's execution. The hunt for the mysterious mole creates paranoia throughout London Station, and no one knows who can be trusted anymore. At the same time, a new enemy emerges, Viking, a former U.S. Marine who now works for the mercenary organization Valhalla. Viking is intelligent, ruthless, and always seems to stay one step ahead of the CIA. Meanwhile, Danny's undercover mission in Iran becomes increasingly dangerous. She successfully gets closer to Hassan Zamani, the son of a powerful Iranian politician, but her cover begins attracting the attention of Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Without realizing it, Danny is slowly walking into a trap. Another major storyline follows Owen Taylor, who is tasked with getting close to Viking through his sister, Robin. Owen pretends to be someone he's not and gradually earns her trust. However, what looks like a successful operation hides a terrifying truth. Back in Sudan, Samia continues to suffer imprisonment and interrogation. Despite the pressure, she refuses to betray Martian. But powerful intelligence agencies begin realizing that her relationship with him may be the key to controlling both of them. As the season reaches its midpoint, Martian becomes increasingly willing to sacrifice CIA operations, fellow agents, and even national security if it means bringing Samia home. And that's when the consequences begin catching up with him. Danny's mission in Iran reaches a breaking point when the Revolutionary Guard finally moves against her operation. She and several members of Hassan's circle are arrested, putting years of CIA QAnon at risk. Although Danny manages to survive, she begins questioning whether the agency truly values her life or simply sees her as another expendable asset. At the same time, Owen's mission takes a devastating turn. What the CIA doesn't realize is that Robin has been secretly communicating with Viking the entire time. Instead of Owen manipulating her, she has been manipulating him. When Owen travels to the Central African Republic, he unknowingly walks into a carefully planned ambush. The result is brutal. Viking captures Owen, tortures him, and leaves him permanently injured before a desperate rescue operation finally saves his life. The incident proves that Viking has been several moves ahead of the CIA from the very beginning. Back in London, Henry's suspicions about Martian grow stronger. Small clues begin connecting together, and Henry starts believing that Martian may be hiding something far bigger than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, Samia is finally released from prison, but freedom comes with a terrible price. She is forced to publicly support the very people responsible for her suffering. Threats against her family leave her trapped in another form of captivity. The biggest emotional twist arrives when Samia and Martian secretly reunite for the first time since her imprisonment. Years of lies, months of separation, and overwhelming guilt all collide. For Martian, this reunion should be a victory. Instead, it becomes another weakness that his enemies can exploit. As The Agency Season 2 enters its final stretch, everything tightens into one pressure point. Every lie, every secret, every double cross finally reaches its breaking limit. Martian is no longer just a CIA operative. He is a man trapped between three collapsing worlds. Martian's carefully built web of deception is starting to tear apart. For most of the season, he has been operating as a double agent, secretly negotiating with MI6 while still working inside the CIA. Every move he makes is driven by one goal: save Samia at any cost. But the problem is simple. The more he tries to control the situation, the more uncontrollable it becomes. Henry is closing in on him. Bosco is beginning to question the structure of the entire operation. And inside Martian's own mind, the line between mission and obsession is completely gone. What started as love has now become something far more dangerous: a dependency, a fixation, a weakness that enemies can exploit. The biggest revelation of the season is not a twist in the traditional sense. It's a confirmation of what has been quietly building all along. Richardson was never just a helpful MI6 contact. He was the architect of manipulation. From the beginning, he understood Martian's emotional vulnerability. He knew Samia was not just an asset, she was a trigger, a pressure point. And so he used her. Every deal Richardson offered was designed to tighten control over Martian's actions while appearing like help. The genius of his strategy is that Martian believed he was making choices, but in reality, every choice was already prepared for him. By the time Martian realizes this, it's too late. The damage is already global. Agents are exposed, operations are compromised, and trust inside intelligence networks is collapsing. One of the most emotionally devastating parts of the finale is the final confrontation between Martian and Samia. After everything she has endured, captivity, torture, manipulation, Samia finally learns the full truth. Martian is not Paul. He is not a teacher. He is not an ordinary man. He is CIA, and their entire relationship has existed inside a lie. This moment is not played as simple shock. It's deeper than that, because Samia is not just angry. She is broken. Everything she believed about safety, trust, and love is suddenly questioned. Was she chosen because of who she is, or because of what she knows? Martian insists his feelings are real, and for once, the audience understands something important. He is telling the truth. But in espionage, truth comes too late. When trust is destroyed, honesty no longer repairs anything. It only confirms the betrayal. Once Richardson's manipulation is fully exposed, Martian makes his final transformation. He stops behaving like an asset. He stops following orders. He stops trying to survive within the system. Instead, he becomes something far more dangerous, a man acting independently. Martian's pursuit of Richardson is no longer sanctioned, controlled, or strategic. It becomes personal revenge disguised as justice. And this is where the show makes its strongest point. In espionage, the moment you act on emotion instead of instruction, you stop being useful. You become a liability. By the end of the season, Martian achieves what he has been fighting for since the beginning. He saves Samia. She is no longer in captivity. She is physically free. But emotionally, nothing is free anymore. Because freedom in the agency doesn't mean safety. It means exposure. It means consequences. Martian has succeeded in his mission, but the cost is absolute. His position in the CIA is destroyed. His loyalty is questioned. His identity as an agent is compromised. And his future is completely uncertain. Even Samia's future with him is now unclear, because love built inside deception rarely survives outside it. The season ends not with resolution, but with collapse. Martian stands in the aftermath of everything he has done. He succeeded, he failed. He saved someone, and lost everything else in the process. And that leaves one final haunting question. In a world built on lies, what does truth even cost? And is it ever worth it?